Well, ever since Boris Johnson's dramatic announcement at Lyd Airport in Kent that Rwanda was the place that we would send people across the English Channel to, and we would do that to stop others paying the traffickers, the row has never, ever ended. To my knowledge, thus far, we've spent £140 million on the Rwanda plan, and not one single person has gone there. We learned in the last 48 hours that the cost for each person to go to Rwanda is estimated at £169,000. But we're told, if for every couple of people we send to Rwanda, it discourages 3 or 4 people from paying traffickers money, actually, we're going to come out winning. Whether I believe that argument or not, I don't know. I do think anything that breaks the model of paying the trafficker £3,500 across the channel, anything that breaks it must be a good thing. So I'm kind of lukewarm in support of Rwanda. But there are questions about whether, and Caroline Noakes, former Conservative Member of Parliament, has said it wouldn't be safe to send kids there. Now, I'm joined by Ivon Sampson, immigration lawyer and a friend of this programme. Ivon, I wasn't aware the plan was to send kids to Rwanda.
Well, I wouldn't put anything past this government to get the votes. I mean, look, the government has a statutory duty to protect children. It's enshrined in law under the Borders Act, Section 55. And what that says is that the government has to treat fairly children claiming asylum as if they were British. The same standards they apply to British children, they should apply to asylum seeker children. That's first of all. Next thing is they should consider and decide their asylum application within a reasonable time. They should also not discriminate and identify children who are at risk and protect them. Now, if you're not willing to send your kids to a holiday camp in Rwanda, British children, to go sort of summer camp there, then we shouldn't be sending children seeking asylum.
But surely there's any element of doubt we'd keep those child asylum seekers in this country anyway.
Well, not a single person has been sent to Rwanda, yes, not one child, not a single one.
I know.
And there will not be anyone sent to Rwanda, simply because...
Hang on. You are saying that the government's flagship policy on Stop the Boats, which Rishi has made, one of his 5 pledges, you are sitting here tonight and saying that it won't happen?
No, it won't happen.
Why?
Well, there's 2 reasons. The reason is the whole point of the Rwanda policy is a deterrent. And it's not going to work because the people coming across the channel don't know about the policy. And even if they knew about the policy, they don't care. I mean, look, last year we had the Borders Bill and we had the inadmissibility rule saying that if you didn't claim asylum in the first country, we wouldn't even accept your asylum claim. That went out the window. Then we had it a criminal offence.
And yet, actually, wasn't that a fair policy?
Well, no, because it's a breach of international law. We've got a duty to abide by international law.
This international law stuff? What about putting our own interests first? I mean, why should we allow tens of thousands of young men who throw their passports and mobile phones into the English Channel to come and live in this country? Why should we allow it?
We shouldn't. In fact, we shouldn't. What we should allow is genuine asylum seekers, and the majority of people coming across the channel in Home Office's own figures are genuine. That is a fact.
That's because the only way of clearing the backlog is to let them stay. Think about Albania. 50% of those young men that came from Albania were given refugee status. In Germany, the number was 0. I mean, aren't we just giving up on all of this?
Well, I don't agree with giving Albanians refugee status simply because they come from a safe third country.
Fine. So why... this makes my point. The only way we deal with this is to say you can all stay, which means more and more come.
Which means an amnesty. It happened in 2004. We had an amnesty then for children. So any child that had been in the UK for a certain number of years were given, and their parents were given protection. So maybe we need to just clear the backlog and have a sensible immigration policy.
So let everyone stay and start again, which means even more come.
Look, we've got 1 million people illegally in this country. We could never remove...
Are you sure it's as few as that?
Yeah, well, that's the figures. If we removed them for the next 50 years, we couldn't do it. That is a fact. We don't have the resources, and there isn't the capacity to remove that many people. We've got to accept it. We should bring them into the work.
Ivon, with respect, you are a smart, successful immigration lawyer living in London, right? You are part of the marzipan layer of society. Do you understand when you go out to ordinary communities and people say, because of the population explosion, this is legal and illegal, we can't get GP appointments, our kids can't get onto the social housing list. Do you understand the anger this is causing out there?
No,
amongst, by the way, very decent, nice people.
I understand that, but the solution is not to attack illegal or migrants here. The solution is to build more houses, to have a proper workforce, to have proper funding of the NHS.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've been out in the Channel countless times. I've seen, in many cases, not all, but in many cases, pretty aggressive young males who, and I've filmed them, throwing their mobile phones into the sea at the 12-mile limit in the hope that no one can trace or track who they are or what they are. They arrive in Dover docks, and far from being grateful and thankful, and we saw that with the Ugandan Asians when they very humbly arrived at Heathrow Airport back in the 70s, they're high-fiving. I mean, the arrogance of it. And they come directly, many of them, to join criminal gangs. And TikTok advertises, come and join our drugs gang, come and join the... I mean, this is an absolute mickey take, isn't it?
It is, and they should be removed. Look, the law's already there.
So who should be... Right, OK, let's pin this back. Yeah. Who should be removed?
Anyone who's not a genuine asylum seeker. And the problem is, with the Albanians, they claim they've been trafficked. And the government doesn't know what it's doing with the national referral mechanism under trafficking laws. That is a problem.
All right.
They should be fast-tracked, as you can with asylum seekers. Albanians are not permitted to claim asylum.
None of them should stay.
Yeah. So it's the government's fault. There's not a proper policy.
Well, no.
If we had a proper running Home Office...
On that, we'll agree. Well, Ivon Sampson and I have debated this before, and we will debate this again. We don't quite see eye to eye, but I have to say, the country is in a very different place on this issue to central London.